A classic Italian-American dish, veal marsala is the marriage of thin veal cutlets and a rich, savory sauce made with marsala wine and mushrooms. This recipe is easier than you think and is a great dinner any day of the week. Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Let's Celebrate TV. I'm your host, Peter Lee. On this channel, we teach you all about celebrating. We share recipes for food, hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, and we share entertaining tips too. Now we try and keep it all as simple as we can, especially for those of you out there who say that you just can't cook or entertain, because we know that you really can. So if you like this episode, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and you'll get a new episode every single week. Today, our celebration is about a classic dish, an Italian-American classic dish, as a matter of fact. We're making veal marsala. Now, it sounds fancy and complicated, but it's really easy, so let's get started. I have a whole spread before me. Here in my pan, I have it slightly heating. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I'm going to just add a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon. Not a lot. We're just going to let that heat for a moment. While that gets hot, I have here some beautiful veal cutlets. Now, veal marsala is a great, wonderful dish. Some people don't like veal, so guess what? You can make this with chicken and you can make it with pork. Today I'm using veal. So this should be just about hot enough. We're going to give this a very quick dredge in flour, very light. And these cutlets are very, very thin. So this is all it's going to take. Very quickly, right here, right there. Shake off the excess and right in the pan. Now, it may not sizzle at first, and that's okay. We're not deep frying. We're just going to get a little golden on that flour. Now, this flour, I should also say, has been seasoned with salt and pepper. Okay, quick dredge. Second one in. Now, by the time I get these four in, the first one will be ready to flip. These are so thin, they really only take about 30 seconds per side. Don't overcook them. 3 and 4. And now, just as quickly, this first one should be ready. Yep. There we go. And then we can just flip them over. 3 and 4. Now, this first one is ready to come out. Just another moment. You just have to keep an eye on them. They go really quickly. All right. Now, if you see a little pink, that's okay. Believe me, they're cooked. In our same exact pan here, we're going to add some butter. I have here 3 tablespoons of butter, which is about 42 grams. Right in. To that, as this melts down very quickly, we're going to add some more ingredients to make the sauce. That's what makes veal marsala. Marsala is the sauce. So first I'm going to start with 1 chopped shallot. This is a pretty large shallot. Shallots are a member of the onion family, and they're kind of a cross between an onion and garlic. They have flavors of both. If you can't find shallots, you can use regular onion. Right in. Next, garlic. Just 2 cloves that I've chopped up. A little stir and get them going. We want them to start to soften. Next, mushrooms. I have 8 ounces of mushrooms that I sliced. 8 ounces is about 56 grams. I'm using cremini mushrooms. You can use whatever kind you like. Even plain old button mushrooms, white mushrooms is fine. Now I'm going to give this a little hit of salt and pepper just to help them all get started. And we're going to saute all this down. Let me turn this heat down a bit. Just until the mushrooms are giving up all of their juice and the onions, the shallots and garlic are softened. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. My mushrooms have cooked down. My shallots and garlic are all nice and softened. Now let's keep adding some more ingredients. The next thing we're adding is Marsala wine. I've got 3/4 of a cup, which is 177 mils. And this is Marsala wine. Marsala wine is an Italian fortified wine. So I'm using the dry variety, but it's still very sweet for my palate. It's usually used as a dessert wine, and it comes in both sweet and dry varieties. I'm going to turn the heat down, carefully add it to the pan. Next is beef stock. Same amount, 3/4 of a cup or 177 mils, right in. Now I will turn this back up because we want to deglaze the pan. Any little brown bits that are at the bottom, that's all flavor, and we want to make sure that goes into our sauce. So I'm going to turn this up, and we're going to bring this to the boil, and we want it to then reduce down by half. That's probably going to take another 5 or 7 minutes. Well, here we are. It's been 5 minutes. Our first step took 5 minutes. Now our second step took 5 minutes. See how easy this is? This is nice and reduced down. We're going to add a few more things. First, some heavy cream. I've got a half cup here, which is 118 mils. Nice fresh heavy cream right in for richness. Along with that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of fresh thyme and 2 teaspoons of fresh rosemary that I chopped up really finely. Now, I'm going to put this in, and guess what? We're going to let it reduce down again. This is going to thicken up. The herbs are going to marry with all these flavors. You notice I didn't add any more salt because my stock had enough salt in it. So at this point, we should be good on salt and pepper. Here we are. It's been another 5 minutes, and the sauce is reduced and thickened. If I drag my spoon through, I get a trail. You see that? So now I'm going to cut the heat. We're going to put the veal back in. What this is going to do, it's going to help it soak up all those flavors. If there's any more cooking to be done, if you're a little worried about it being too pink or whatever, this will finish it. But don't leave this in for too long. Really only for a minute, maybe 2, before you serve it. You really just want to heat this through, and then that will be a delicious dish. All right, while this warms up, I'll be right back because then we're going to do our favorite part, the tasting. Well, here we are. It's time for the tasting. So I went ahead and I plated this, and look how beautiful. The only thing I added was a little bit of fresh parsley on top for prettiness sake. But who wouldn't like this served for dinner? So let me have a quick little taste. I'm just going to sneak a piece right here. They won't notice. And get some of that sauce. Wow. Wow. The sauce is complex. It's rich. You can taste the wine, you can taste the herbs, you get that freshness from the herbs. And the veal is tender and juicy as it should be. Comfort food, really. A little sip of vino, as always. Alrighty. So, like always, we'll have this recipe up in the comment section of YouTube and on our website. And like always, we will see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. because you're all invited to come on over, come on in, and let's celebrate. Cheers!